my fellow comic book collectors, it's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and these are the hottest Golden Age comics for the week. Before we get into the top 10, I just want to quickly give another shout out to my Kickstarter. Please check out the link in the description. It's a great book, basically one where if you like Golden Age books like I do, this is the perfect comic for you because it highlights the Golden Age women of the Vixens, the ones I really like: Miss Mask, Lady Luck, Black Cat, Phantom Lady, Terra. So many great characters, all in one book. Check it out, please. Thank you. And let's get into the list. Number 10 on the list is Adventures of Homer Chubb. Cobb, I should say. Cobb, number 1. It is from Say Burt Productions, 1947. Now, it was a one-shot. There was only one issue of this book, and it had Elle Felstein on the cover. Great cover. Really cool book. This was a 4.5 that sold, and it sold for $295. Whoever got this, he did well, because this is a really hard book to find. The previous record for this book was set back in October of 2023 for $367.86. And, so it's actually down from that previous record. But there was actually a sale that happened right after that previous record for $3.5. So even a lower grade had sold for $552 in November of 2023. So this book was on the rise. I don't know what happened with this sale. Somebody just picked it up and got a steal. Really great price. There's only 10 of these on the census, and 8 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 9 on the list is Big Shot Comics number 24. This is from Columbia Comics, 1942. It is a Uncle Sam and Tojo cover. And it's sort of like a baseball thing where where you got Joe Palooka, and he's basically hitting Tojo like a home run with Tojo. He's just hitting him right out of the park. Just a very cool propaganda cover from the Golden Age. This was a 7.5 that sold for $1,499. This is the only sale in this grade, but it is a strong sale. A 3.0, which is much lower grade, but it's the only one we have. These don't sell that often. A 3.0 sold in February of 2024 for $444. Now, if you do the price per point, that would work out to being about $148 or $150 per point. So you would expect this Big Shot to have sold for around $1,100. So to sell for about $1,500 is a strong sale. Very strong sale for this book. Very cool book. You just don't see it that often, and somebody grabbed it when they had a chance. There's only 16 of these on the census, and 16 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 8 on the list is This Tomorrow French edition? And I'll get into that. And it's La Conde Notre Tour from Fides, 1947. Now this book has multiple variations to it. There's actually 4 different American versions where they have different, either 10 cent or no 10 cent or whatever. They have multiple covers, and they're all the same cover, but either with the price label or not without the price label. But the point is, they're a different cover. They have flames, and they show the potential of what would happen if communism came to America. Well, this is a different one. This has a very unique cover where it's like this hand kind of glooming over a city. And it's actually a little bit different than the American edition because it's communism coming to Canada. So it's a very, very rare and unique book. This was a 3.0 that sold, and it sold for $1,549.99. We'll round it to $1,550. This is the highest grade for this book. A 3.0 is the highest grade. So that just gives you a sense of how rare this book is. Now, to give you a sense, this is the only sale for this book in any grade. There is no real comparative, but the American edition, just to give you a sense of how how much cheaper the American edition is. It's normally if it's a 3.0, it would sell for around $200. I mean, the last record sale was $189, which was in May of 2023 for a 3.0 American edition. But those are much more common. This French edition is incredibly rare. There's only 4 known to exist. Even the English edition, there's only 7 on the census, and all are universal blue labels. But this is just such a rare book, very cool book. You just don't see it very often. And as I said, this is the only recorded sale. So, it's one of those books. Just don't see it that often. Number 7 on the list is 4-color number 62. This is from Dell, 1945. It's a Karl von Butler, or I think it's Butler, or Buter. I think it's Buter. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce his name. Buter. Karl von Buter, and Karl von Buter is made a beautiful cover. This is frozen gold. It's a beautiful cover. But what is really key about this book is the interior. The interior is done by Carl Barks, and the story is written by Carl Barks, and it's a classic story. And that's what makes this book very valuable and highly sought after. It's that Carl Barks work. This was a 7.0 that sold, and it was originally priced at $1,600, but there was a best offer on it for $1,200. So it sold for $1,200. Now whoever got this got it for a steal, because the record for this book was set back in 2017 for $1,673. So this is way under that 2017 record. Now there was even a sale earlier this year in February of 2024 for $1,440. So this is way down. Somebody just got a really great price. I'm not sure why they accepted such a really low ball offer, but they did. Somebody got a great price on this book. Now this book is a little bit more common because it is a Disney one, but in this grade, it's really quite rare. There's 104 of these on the census, and 100 of them are universal blue labels. Number 6 on the list is Lovers, number 49. This is from Atlas, 1953. It's a J. Scott Pike cover. Now, if you're not familiar with J. Scott Pike, he was the guy that did Showcase 73, which is the famous dolphin cover. It's just a beautiful woman strewn right across the cover. Just amazing cover. Well, this is also a beautiful cover. It's a very close up on a woman about to kiss a man. Just a really great romance cover. This was a 2.0 that sold, and it sold for another best offer. It was originally priced at $3,167, but they accepted an offer of $1,926. This is the only sale in this grade. There was a 4.5 that sold, and it sold for $2,880. Now, that would work out to being around, you would expect this book to sell for around $1,280. So that previous sale was in 2023. So this is a really strong sale for a really great cover. There's only 9 of these on the census, and 8 of them are universal blue labels. Just a great book. Number 5 on the list is JoJo Comics number 17. This is from Fox, 1948. It's a Jack Kamen cover, and it's a classic bondage cover. This woman's tied to a tree, and she also has a bit of snake bondage going on. She's got this snake wrapped around her, and you got JoJo coming in to save her. Just a really great cover. Now, this one was actually a pink pager. I always feel it's cool to denote that because one of the things that Fox would do is they would use the cheapest paper possible, and he found pink paper, which is only Fox would do that. And so has pink paper instead of white pages or white or whatever. This is pink pages. And it was a 7.5 that sold, and it sold for $2,000. Now, this is a massive sale for this book. The previous record for this book was set back in 2017, again, 7 years ago, for $475. So it's gone up 5 times in 7 years. So pretty amazing increase in value. And just to give you a sense, this is such a strong sale that an 8.0 had sold back in March of 2022 for $1,320. So this is actually much more than, almost double what the 8.0 had sold for. So just a very strong sale for this book. There's only 44 of these on the census, and 43 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 4 on the list is Mad Comics, or Mad Magazine. It's at this point, it's Mad Comics. Number 15. This is from EC Comics, 1954, and it is a Great Alice and the Mad Hatter Tea Party. And they're all reading Mad Magazine, which is really cool. Just it has that classic Alice in Wonderland feel to it. Just a really cool cover. This was actually a really interesting copy that sold. It was a 9.6, and it sold for $3,579. It is a Gaines file copy, though, which is really cool because Matt Gaines would, Bill Gaines, I should say. Bill Gaines would keep like 11 copies of each book that he published. He had the complete collection of all the books, and this was a pedigree of his books. So this is the highest grade copy on the census. It is the only sale for this high grade copy, actually. The closest grade to it was a 9.4, and it had a record in 2009, actually, for $1,434. So this was a very, very strong sale for this book. Basically, almost more than double what the 9.4 had sold for. But I would have actually expected even more, just because 2009 was the last 9.4 sale. So usually you get about double between the highest and second highest grade, if that makes sense. And then you would have expected the 9.4 to have gone up a little bit over that time period, maybe double within that time period. So this was not as strong of a sale as it might appear, but still a very, very strong sale. There are 93 of these on the census, and 92 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 3 on the list is Blue Ribbon Comics number 21. This is a MLJ comic from 1942. MLJ later became Archie Comics, but this is when they were still doing superheroes. And it's a great Captain Flag cover with him jumping through a window trying to save a woman who's being strangled by a skeleton guy. Just a really cool cover. This was a 2.0 that sold, and it sold for $3,999. The previous record for this book in this grade was $2,612.80 back in August of 2023. But this is actually a low sale, believe it or not, because there was a 2.5 that just sold back in May of 2023 for $5,760. So this is actually below what you would have expected. Excuse me, for a 2.0. I would have expected more in the 4,000s, but still a very strong sale. There's only 13 of these on the census, and 12 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 2 on the list is Pep Comics number 32. This is another MLJ comic from 1942. It's a Bob Montana cover. And this is an interesting one because this is actually the first time that they use the emblem from MLJ. And it has the first time that you see like an MLJ publication. And so that's kind of cool, but it's actually a really cool cover. You got this woman, her head is in a vice. I mean, it's just craziness going on. And you got the shield, which is MLJ's one of their main character, basically coming in and punching a Nazi to try to rescue the woman. Just a really great cover. A lot of people who collect Golden Age comics collect these Nazis getting punched covers. It's just a popular theme with collectors. This was a 6.5 that sold, and it sold for $5,999. The previous record for this book was set back in December of 2020 for $4,900. So it's up like $1,000 in that time period. There was actually a 7.5 that sold in February of 2018 for $5,258. So this is even above what the 7.5 had sold for. So very strong sale for this book. Just a great cover. It's just cool and very rare. These early peps are quite hard to find. There's only 27 of these on the census, and 25 of them are Universal Blue Labels. Number 1 on the list is Space Action Number 1. This is from Ace Publications, 1952. It is a Luke Cameron cover, and it's a great sci-fi meets good girl. Got a little bit of punching action too. Just a really cool cover. This was actually a 9.4 that sold, and it's the highest graded copy of this book, and it sold for $6,200. Again, only sale. So we don't know how this compares to previous sales in grade, but we do know that there was a 9.0, which is the second highest grade for this book. There is no 9.2, or there's no higher than the 9.4. The second highest grade sold back in June of 2019 for $1,013. So this is way above that, because you would expect like that 9.0 now to sell for around $1,500. So this is 4 times what that 9.0 had sold for, basically. Just a very, very strong sale. That's actually 6 times compared to the actual price, but just a massive sale. Just a, one of the as I said, some of these books, you just don't see them very often in this grade. Like these high grade books really do command a premium, where you'll see like in the lower grades they will sell for a few $100s, but in these high grades, thousands, because you just don't see them in that high grade, especially from that era in 1952. There's only 38 of these on the census, and 34 of them are Universal Blue Labels. So on this list this week, we had some really high grade copies, some really rare books that you just don't see that often. I think is an interesting list for those obscure comics. Like, just, you don't see these ones. Like Lovers 49, I haven't seen that ever on the sell. So that was a really cool one. Some of these books, which one was your favorite from the list? Tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.